2 candidates on each executive member category. Click on the Submit ballot to submit your vote.
Good morning, members of the now Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Practitioners. This is the 2021 Annual General Meeting, virtual. If you are online and you are virtual, you are welcome as a virtual member of the CIHRMP. In your small corner, you can clap for yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do something special for us, yourself, myself. This is a virtual annual general meeting, and for that cause and reason, there is the need for you to remember that you were present. Take a small, wonderful sheet of paper, A4, and write like we used to do. I went to Adisado College. It's plenty around the blocks. I was there some. I was there some. And paste it somewhere. Paste it somewhere. Use your phone and put it on. I was there some. Go onto the chapter pages and do all that. I was there some. So that one day you can tell people that the first virtual annual general meeting in 2021, you were present. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the 2021 annual general meeting. It is virtual. Lots of things to happen. And because the AGM is virtual, like a radio station, we won't repeat a lot of things. So please stay glued to your media. Whatever medium you are using, your phone, your laptop, your desktop, you are encouraged to stay glued to it. There's lots for you. As professionals, we have a lot to do. Yes, this is the 2021 Annual General Meeting, and it's a transitional AGM. This is the last time we will be hearing things about IHRMP. We are from there to now. And I didn't say today, but I said that to now, that we are moving into the CIHRM. Clap for ourselves. It's a good one. I was there some. On that note, my name is Seth Jojome. I will be your co-MC, and I'm doing this together with...
Good morning. My name is Mrs. Dora Snaulati. Thank you. So, starting, would call on Mr. George Antoboatin. Mr. George Antoboatin is a former director of COCOBOT and a former executive member of CIHRMP. So, Mr. George Antoboatin, may we have you to give us the opening prayer. Shall we welcome him with a clap?
Almighty God, we thank you for this day. We know that when you are with us, we will be like trees planted near rivers, and that no storm nor dry period can shake us. We thank you for this day. We pray for your presence at this meeting to guide us to a successful end. We thank you for hearing our prayer. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. George Antoboatin, the first person to say an opening prayer for our virtual meeting. Thank you. So moving on, we are going to have the welcome address, and I have the honor to invite our Chief Executive Officer in the person of Dr. Ebenezer Agbeto to do that for us. So shall we welcome Dr. Agbeto to give us the welcome address? Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dora and our good friend Setho. You've been doing this job for us for a while now, and we are extremely grateful for that. Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you, those here in person and those who have joined in online. Just as the MC said, we're going to be business-like because it's online, and therefore we're going to have a time that will not be extended as we have been experiencing in the past. For a start, we are not going to have any guest speaker. That is going to be out of the equation. In addition to that, we are also not going to have any break or sessions. So it is a straight-through program for all of you. Immediate past president, vice president, executive members of the National Governing Council, ex-council members, chairpersons, and members of committees, resource persons, members of the institute, secretariat staff, reps from the Electoral Commission, the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy that I come to you this morning to welcome you to today's special, and I term it a special, annual general meeting. And I say so simply because it is the first time that we are having our annual general meeting being held in June. And this is in conformance to the act that our good friend spoke about. And also in addition to the fact that because of the COVID pandemic, for the first time, we're also having our AGM being conducted in a hybrid form, that is in person and in virtual. For today, we have a simple purpose for this meeting, and they are fourfold. Firstly, we are actually going to take stock of what happened in the past year, which will be presented by the President in his annual report address. Secondly, we will go through a business session where we will adopt the last AGM minutes and hear from the external auditors on our financial reports. Thirdly, we will conduct the elections to elect new executives. This exercise actually started on Wednesday. So as we speak now, the voting is ongoing, and hopefully it ends at 10:30. So shortly after that, this instant, our electoral commissioner will be able to give us the results. Then lastly, we will also have to ratify a resolution regarding the handling of membership transition under CIHRM Ghana Act 2020, Act 1020, which was also circulated to members. So we trust that you have had the opportunity to have gone through, and when it comes to that, we will also vote online. So I'm sure our IT guys are working on that. The COVID-19 pandemic certainly came to disrupt our lives. That is the way we live, the way we work, and the way we interact with one another. Yet, in some ways, within that time, the good Lord has been very gracious to us for keeping us safe and enabled us as an institute to obtain our charter status, which is CIHRM, or Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana Act 2020, Act 1020. We give so much thanks to God Almighty for this wonderful achievement. I guess those of you who are here, you can do the clapping, and I'm sure those who are out there, you'll be tapping your feet. That is also okay. When we moved into our building here in May 2019, we had some outstanding works to be done, especially to do with the landscape and the immediate environment. I am happy to report that the landscape and the road in front of the building have recently been done, and this has completely enhanced the beauty of the entire environment. For those who are here, I guess you can attest to this on your various platforms. Indeed, we are now proud landlords. And as part of branding the Institute to fit into our new charter status, Council has embarked on a number of initiatives. A few of them are as follows. Last year, we managed to get our president featured on Joy TV to talk extensively on our charter status. This, I think, went on for about 20 or so minutes, well featured, out there last year. We also carried out media publications in both print and soft. The social media was indeed flooded with news on our charter. We also had a webinar presentation session with Parliamentary Network Africa. We are also, at the moment, going through training of our members on the Act 1020. So far, we've done that for Accra chapter, Tema chapter, Kumasi chapter, Takrady chapter, Koforidia chapter. I think what is outstanding now is Winneba and then Takwa. We also have come out with a new logo, which was actually agreed at council. New branded cloth, as you can see us in it. I trust that those who are far away, I'm hoping that the screen is doing justice to how beautiful we all look at the moment. Hopefully we'll encourage you to get your own at your own time. We know that somehow this caused a slight stay on one of the chapter's platform. Here again, we can only somehow attribute it to maybe some kind of gap of communication. Hence, we will encourage chapter heads who are on council to ensure that they communicate to their members regarding decisions that are taken at council level. Going forth, we know that chapters representatives on council will no longer be part of it. So as a result of this, we have dedicated a desk which will be manned by membership manager. So all chapters, if you have any issues, you can call in and then speak to the membership manager. And that person will solely be handling all issues pertaining to the various chapters. This is because, as I said, with the new formation of the Executive Council, we will not have council representatives from the various chapters. And we want to ensure that communication flow is maintained. Our website also has been given a new look to reflect on our new status, and it's still ongoing. Our vehicle has been branded. We do accept that it's time we have a change, and we are actually working on it. Our signages have all been newly branded. We know that for the general public and the corporate Ghana, we'll have to come to them. But we will do so as we come to a point where we know our airline is at a point that is operational, and therefore we can then engage the public and the corporate Ghana. A documentary as well on the Institute is also in the pipeline. So these are initiatives that we are taking to ensure that we get ourselves into the new regime. As it stands now, we've also engaged a new internal auditor. And this is in conformity of the act that is now guiding our operations. He, I believe, is around at the moment, and he will start on the 3rd of July. In addition to that, we've also engaged a front desk executive. This is to ensure that our handling of the public and members are done in a very professional way. It's all about we enhancing the services that we offer. We've also engaged a certification officer. So these are all part of the initiatives that have been taken to usher us into the new era that we find ourselves in. At this point, I would like to extend a special welcome to some personalities within us. And I'll start with introducing our immediate past president, Mr. John Wilson. Mr. John Wilson, immediate past president. He will continue to feature prominently on the new council. His title is enshrined in the Act. So he will be playing a very significant role as we go forward. We also have our good friend, Mr. George Antobuatin, who did the opening prayer for us. You are welcome, a good friend. We also have Mr. Amankwa Boatin, former executive member of the council as well. We also have in our midst Honorable Andy Okra, former vice president. Thank you for joining us. Now, I'll go straight to our president, Edward Kwapon, Dr. Edward Kwapon. His vice, we have Leo Kwakupon, Vice Leo Kwakupon. And then we also have Mrs. Nanaya Chum, executive member of the council. We also have in our midst Seth Jojome, who is also executive member of the council. We also have Mr. Isaac Saki, executive member of the council. I think Kwame and Co, they are not here, but we have Emmanuel Kosa, he is a Accra chapter rep on the council. We have Georgina Yeboah, Accra Kumasi chapter rep. And I believe William Ejamponsa, he has joined in from Takrady. He is the Takrady rep. And then we have Dr. Francis Akrono, the Winneba chapter head. And he's also joining from Cape Coast. Then we have Eric Duka from Tema chapter. Eric Duka from Tema. Thank you all for coming, and if I've missed anybody, yes, Adelaide Kunedu, the Koforidia chapter chair. Adelaide Koforidia, she said she was going to join in on online. So with this, I think as we go forward, if there are any other names that needs to be mentioned, I'm sure our AC will take charge of that. Here again, I want to use this opportunity to appreciate Mr. Paul Nalte, the chairman of the HR Complex Building Committee. He's not here. He's recovering. He's not well. He's recovering. I visited him last week, and he's recovering. So we all continue to remember him in our prayers for his continued support for the Institute. Once again, I also want to take this opportunity to thank my good friend, Mr. George Antobuatin. He continued to support us, and he continued to wear the cap, champion recruiter of the security services. He's done so marvelously well. If you see all the brigadier generals, the major generals on our list, all due to his effort. He goes, chase them, get their subscriptions, and fantastic work he's doing for us. I also want to mention another member who is a student member, Mr. Dasana. He's been doing so well for us. He's been getting Zoom Lion to come and spray this place periodically. He's been doing that periodically, and we appreciate him a lot. As well, we also appreciate the Events Planning Awards Committee, led by Leo. We also appreciate the secretariat staff, obviously led by our own Josephine, who have done a great job. And I cannot leave our IT administrator out. He's done fantastic. IT administrator, unfortunately, he's not here at the moment. Right, yes. He's done a marvelous job for us. All that is going on online, he has done the job for us, so we appreciate him. I will have to bring my brief address to an end, but I do so on a somber mood. Unfortunately, we lost one of our champions last year on Christmas Day, 25th December 2020. As we will record, as the record tells us. He, at the time of his demise, he was the chairman of the fellowship committee He did such a great job for us. He was so passionate. Will not stop calling myself, calling the president, calling the vice president. Any topical issue that comes into the public domain, he will call almost all of us just to check how we are keeping our eyes on it. He did a great job for us. And he is in the person of Mr. John Embro. John Embro, wherever you are, we thank you so much for the great job that you did for the Institute. Certainly, your name is boldly imprinted in the books of the Institute. At one point in time, we will get the MC for us to observe a minute silent to honor him. I want to end here by extending once again a warm welcome to all of you on this maiden hybrid AGM. And thank you all in advance for your participating. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agbetov, the Chief Executive Officer of CIHRM. As he indicated, we would all respectfully, and for those virtually watching, please, if you can stand, we will appreciate it. We would offer a 1 minute silence to Mr. John Imbro, any loved ones we have missed, and any relatives of members that we also have missed. If you are virtual on this day, you can stand. But if where you are is such that if you stand, everybody will notice, you can just put your hand on your chest. May I respectfully ask those of us here to do a 1 minute silence in memory of Mr. John Imbro, loved ones and relatives of all members of CIHRM. Rest in perfect peace and fare thee well. Amen. Respectfully, I would quickly want to invite Dr. Edward Kwapon, the president of, and this is the transitional problem. So you are coming here today as president of IHRMP. Please note, ladies and gentlemen, he is here as president of IHRMP. I was here some. Thank you.
Good morning, you all. Those physically present with us and those joining us online. I welcome all of you to this maiden virtual AGM. May I be permitted to drop my guard with respect to this, otherwise I'll be suffocating. I also want to assure you that I've taken the 2 jabs, so I'm pretty safe. Before I go to my formal presentation of the report, I want to say that I'm highly excited about this maiden virtual meeting. This represents the new normal, or perhaps the future normal. By way of an icebreaker, let me share this with you. I received a post in which a fundamental declaration was made that agriculture is the mother of all sciences, agriculture. And the reason is that in the Garden of Eden, that was where Adam and Eve applied their faculties in tilling the land, managing the plants, and generating food for themselves. Thereafter, all other sciences, kind of emerged. Thinking through these, I asked myself, shouldn't there be a parallel between HR and the other social sciences? The question is, or the fact is that human resource management is the mother of all social sciences, to the extent that HR looks at human relationships, and it's within the context of human relationships that you look at all other social sciences. So just by way of an icebreaker, may I now move to my formal speech and take cognizance of the protocols required. Indeed, I was offered the opportunity or the option to sit and deliver my address or to stand behind this podium. But because I'm not endowed with height, I decided to come and stand here and do my report. Unfortunately, we don't have a guest speaker today. Otherwise, I was going to say Mr. Guest Speaker. But my indefatigable Vice President, Leo Kwekupom, members of the National Governing Council, past executives of the Institute, chairman and members of the Professional Certification Board, executive director and staff of the Institute, members, resource persons and patrons of the Institute, representatives of other professional bodies, and I believe we have a few here, distinguished invited guests, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I present to you my third report on the activities of the Institute as the president for the year ended 31st December 2019 and continuing to 31st December 2020. May I be quick to point out that for the period under review, we once again used the balanced scorecard model in monitoring and tracking our activities. As we all know, it's a tool for strategy implementation as well as performance management. The model contains 4 perspectives: the financial perspective, the customer, internal processes, and learning and growth, which I refer to as capacity building. Inherent in the model is a causal relationship, beginning with the capacity building at the bottom through 2 other perspectives, namely internal processes and customer, to financial results. Logically, therefore, one must use the bottom-up approach in using this approach. But then at an annual general meeting, I know for a fact that members are primarily interested in the financial performance of the Institute. And so I'll start with the financials and drill down to the remaining perspectives. That is, in place of the bottom-up approach, I'm going to use the top-down approach. With respect to these 4 thematic areas, I must say we chalked some significant successes, which I'm proud to report. But I do so in humility as I take cognizance of the impact of COVID-19, a pandemic, on our operations. Hence, I will commence this report by providing a brief on how the Institute responded to the pandemic, a force majeure or an act of God which nobody anticipated. The measures we adopted during the period and which we continue to apply include the use of skeletal staff at the outset of the pandemic, closure of the Institute in compliance with the lockdown directives of government at the time, issuance of HR guidelines for HR management at various workplaces, adherence to all health protocols by providing all required materials for the HR center, adoption of a shift system, and introduction of flexible working hours as well as remote and teleworking approaches, encouragement of staff to take their annual leave during the period, putting on hold payment of COLA, that's the cost of living allowance, and merit increments to staff. Adoption of virtual classes vis-a-vis in-person to enable the Institute complete the academic year's syllabus. Hiring of additional classrooms to enable the Institute observe social distancing while conducting the July 2020 examinations. Going forward, we promise to be extremely compliant with all COVID-19 protocols. Let me now return to the Institute's balance scorecard for the years under consideration, starting with the financials. Essentially, the financial perspective aims at enhancing revenue generation and cost control and minimization. We will therefore touch on the following under the financials: our membership drive, collection of membership subscription, management of the HR Complex Development Fund, provision of consultancy services, and then examine the actual financial performance for the years ending 2019 and 2020. Membership drive. With our membership drive, we increased our associate membership from 793 to 983, while full membership increased from 1,700 to 1,845, showing an increase of 24% and 8.5% respectively. The number of chartered HR practitioners also stands at 115 and fellows 40. The affiliate membership category stands at 80, while corporate members stand at 15. Collection annual subscription. Collection of members' subscription experienced improvement as paid-up members exceeded the target of 700, which we set for ourselves. For the period commencing January 2020 to December 2020, 851 members paid their subscriptions, constituting 108% of the target, thus exceeding the target by 8%. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with our efforts to increase our membership in terms of numbers and quality of engagement. After all, money is the oil that runs the engine. Third, the management of the HR Development Fund and our financials. We invested the proceeds of the fund with a view to gaining some returns. As we speak, we have an amount of 33,751.16 in the HR Development Fund as at September 2020. Details of the bank balances are shown as follows: Zenith Bank 14,400, Unibank 7,689, Car Bank 11,662. So the total is 33,751.16. These investments continue to attract interest. Then we move to consultancy as a source of revenue. We continue to experience a stable engagement with government agencies by serving on a number of high-profile selection panels and committees. And remember, we attract some fee when we sit as panel members or sitting allowance. These include the head of civil service, internal audit service, Chartered Institute of Bankers, Ghana, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana, the Public Services Commission, the Ghana Standards Authority, and Parliamentary Network Africa. In all these, we had to rely on the expertise of our members to leverage our strategic objective of raising the standard in HR management in Ghana while making some financial gains. Consultancy services. I think the second highest source of revenue. The Institute provided consultant services to a number of institutions and companies, including the Capital Group, an HR consultancy firm, Danex Pharmaceuticals, an infra company during the period under review. In this regard, we continue to encourage you, members, to recommend the Institute to your various organizations for consultancy services as we look forward to more consulting projects to enhance our revenue generation and growth. With this background, let me now turn to the details of the accounts beginning with 2019 and ending with 2020. Financial report as at December 31st, 2019. Normally we do a comparison between the previous year and the current year. And so in 2018, we made an income of 1.86 million and an expenditure of 1.3 or 1.4 million, representing a surplus of 488,733. In 2019, we made an income of 2 million, barely 2 million, an expenditure of 1.7 million, indicating a surplus of 296,323. Total income increased from 1.8, therefore, to 2.2, a net increase of 296,323 cedis, representing 15.9% or 16%. The total expenditure of the institute for the same period also increased by 357,638 to 1,730,000 in 2019, as against 1.3 in 2018. The institute thus recorded a net surplus of 296,320.47 in 2019, 488,733 in 2018. A decrease of about 192,410, representing 39.4% decrease in the net surplus. Now let us turn to the year 2020. Here again, you compare between 2020 and 2019. In 2019, we made an income of 2 million and an expenditure of 1.7 million. So a surplus of 296,323. In 2020, we made an income of 1.7 million, an expenditure of 1.6 million, indicating a surplus of 88,527.62. Thus, total income decreased from 2 million to 1.6 million in 2020, a net decrease of about 352,972.35, representing a 17% decrease. Total expenditure for the same period also decreased by 145,176, representing 8.4% to 1.5 in 2020 as against 2019, an amount of 1.7 million. The institute thus recorded a net surplus of 88,527 in the year 2020 as against 296.32 in 2019, a decrease of about 208,000, representing 70% decrease in net surplus for 2020. Obviously, 2020 was a bad year for us on account of the COVID pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, for further details of the audited financial performance of the institute have been sent to all members through their addresses. Members will therefore have the opportunity to discuss this during the business session, after this session. Now let us move to the customer care. And here we are starting with stakeholder engagement, providing services to our customers with a view to making some money. Engagement with some major stakeholders to strengthen relationships and involvement in the programs of the institute was vigorously pursued. We interacted with key partners, including the Public Services Commission, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, Parliament of the Local Government, Institute of Chartered Accountants, the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Chartered Institute of Marketing, the Institute of Public Relations Ghana, the National Labor Commission, the Ghana Employees Association, and the head of the Civil Service. Additionally, the Institute had representation in serving as speaker, invited guests at a number of meetings, workshops, summits, and conferences. And here, the executive director featured prominently. He served as a guest speaker at the HR conference organized by University of Education, Winneba, on February 14, 2020, at the Limina Beach Hotel. And the topic for delivery was the HR communication, and again, building core HR capabilities. Again, he served as a guest speaker at the HR conference organized by the University of Cape Coast on February 26, 2020, and his topic was career self-management in the fourth industrial revolution. Further, he represented the Institute on an interview panel at the Public Services Commission. In relation to the National Peace Council, the Executive Director again represented the Institute on an interview panel in February 2020. He again served as a guest speaker at the webinar seminar organized by University of Cape Coast on June 17, 2020. And he spoke on the topic, the impact of COVID on employee social and financial well-being at the workplace. As an invited guest at a virtual symposium on the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Bill, organized by the Parliamentary Network Africa, he was our representative. He was also a guest speaker at the virtual Digital HR Summit, organized by Nova Trent Foundation, July 30, 2020, speaking on leadership role in managing the physical and emotional well-being of employees through crisis. Finally, he served as an invited guest at a virtual seminar organized by the University of Education, Winneba, on August 2020 on the topic, the rights and responsibilities of employees in the workplace of the COVID pandemic. Now, Mrs. Florence Ajade, a member of the Professional Certification Board, also represented the Institute on an interview panel at the Internal Audit Service in June 2020. The Vice President and 14 others also conducted virtual interview sessions to select 25 graduates. I can go on and on as far as engagement with our partners continues, but I am told I'm behind time. We also had a number of media engagements wherein the president, the vice president, and executive director granted interviews on Joy FM, Joy News, TV3, GTV, ADR Online, just to mention a few. In addition to the above, the number of adverts and publications were placed in the Daily Graphic, Business and Financial Times, the Ghanaian Times, My Joy Online, etc. We also had collaboration with our partners. And here we were given speaking opportunities. But I will not go into that because I've already read through quite a number of them. We also published, as you may know, our HR news. Indeed, the second edition of the HR magazine entitled HR News was produced in September 2020 and circulated free of charge to members and students. going forward and given the amount of money we spend on these editions, we may ask you to support us with some voluntary contributions so that we can continue to maintain the standard and the glossy nature of the material used. Now we also talk about the review of the PCP syllabus, which the Executive Director in his presentation mentioned earlier. Now let me turn quickly to the internal processes that we reviewed in order to strengthen our delivery capabilities. We looked at our organization structure, and this was in response to the Chartered Institute of Human Resources Ghana Act 1020. And so the Secretariat organizational structure has been reviewed to ensure that it reflects the changing needs and accommodates areas per the requirements of the law. We have also developed software, and the developer, Mr. Isaac Amuakun, who was engaged in 2018, has done a yeoman's job for us. And it is the student side is operational, and the membership part is still being developed by another developer who happens to be a member of the institute. Now I'm left with the last perspective, which is the learning and growth, or the capacity building. Now in terms of learning and growth or the capacity building, I'll first mention the charter status of the institute. We continued with our engagement with the government of Ghana on the bill through the Ministry of Education, and eventually got the bill passed by Parliament on June 4, 2020. Presidential assent was subsequently done on August 13, 2020. Detailed information on the HR bill has been provided in the HR magazine for your reading. In terms of the legal framework, therefore, we are well placed. And we have also reduced the provisions of the law into slides, which we have distributed to all the chapters. So you have the opportunity of listening to and knowing about the contents of the bill for your guidance and for the guidance of your various institutions. Now, we also strengthen human capacity of the Secretariat in terms of recruitment. The Institute recruited a full-time finance manager to support and maintain the increasing financial activities and also meet requirements of the Charter of the Act. Mr. Michael Lamte, who was already working with the Institute on part-time basis, has now been appointed as a full-time accountant of the Institute. We've also built or sustained partnerships with our known partners, including Learning Partners, Quick HR Solutions in Kumasi, Strategic Learning and Solutions Limited in Koforidua, and Corporate Excellence Company Limited in Takrade. We also continue to strive to have the PCP fully take off at Tamale Technical University, Old Technical University, University of Cape Coast, and the Cape Coast Technical University. By way of building capacity again, we did some enrollment. A total of 315 individuals registered their interest directly with the HR Center to participate in the professional certification program for 2020 and 2021 academic year. This is a further strong indication of how the Institute is growing and gaining recognition. Student number for the just ended July examination was once again so high that we were compelled to rent additional halls at the Accra City campus to accommodate the students. Continuous professional education. The running of regular continuing professional education workshops for members, our members, to build capacity was negatively impacted by the COVID-19, and this led to the cancellation of quite a number of our programs, namely the personal grooming and business etiquette, very popular program, HR as a business partner, behavioral interview, professional and legal compliance, total reward management, and career development and succession planning. However, in the face of all these difficulties, we were able to run designing and implementation of performance management system executive leadership and executive leadership skills. Now, capacity building again, I go to the Institute's complex annex. The Institute is still servicing a loan facility of 400,000 obtained from Fidelity Bank in 2019 to complete the annex. The monthly repayment is 15,000 CDs, and we are fulfilling our obligation under that contract. The compound and the landscape work is ongoing and is being carried out by plants and gardens at the cost of about 22,000. The recent rains have unraveled the need to do further works covering drains, gutters that will channel the water into the core river. Having said all this, what is the outlook for the year 2021? The Institute will continue to pursue its growth agenda aggressively by tapping into the opportunities in the regions, that's the political regions, for increased membership and patronage of our programs. We also seek to operationalize the law. You know, after a law has been passed, you always need an ally to operationalize the law. And we already have a committee in place working on that. So very soon, we will go back to Parliament with a draft LI for adoption, for approval, or whatever you may call it. We are also seeking to adopt virtual classes alongside the in-house, so that those who are unable to join us physically can benefit from our programs as the professional certification programs. We also intensify research activities to enable us raking more revenue. I'll now talk about expansion and collaboration. We will continue to collaborate and work closely with learning partners to penetrate and establish presence and accessibility in all the regions of Ghana. We also intend holding the HR Star Awards and the HR Breakfast Forum this year. You know the financial implication of such events, and we urge all of you to come to our aid to make it a success. Otherwise, our competitors are doing the same and drawing attention to themselves to our disadvantage. And yet, we are the recognized professional body in human resource management in Ghana, and we have the law behind us, so we shouldn't fear those competitors. Purchase of a vehicle. The current vehicle is 10 years old, and I think the time has come. In fact, it's long past for us to acquire a new one to replace the existing one. We also continue to commence the phase 2 of the building, HR building complex annex. What a mouthful. So we are going to go up rather than, we are going to go vertical rather than horizontal. So we're going to have a structure on top of the southern end of the building to accommodate the increasing staff of the Secretariat, particularly when by law we are required to have an internal auditor and other office holders. So we're going to work aggressively towards that in the coming year. Our original thinking was that, well, why don't you acquire a couple of 20-footer or 40-footer containers and create some temporary structure to accommodate. The cost-benefit analysis of that showed that it's better for us to build upon Mr. Agbeto's section of the building. My concluding comments, therefore. Ladies and gentlemen, members of our great institute, distinguished guests, I would like to stress that we are steadfast in our resolution to make our institute the professional HR body of choice. And in this regard, I invite you to come on board as institutional citizens and not spectators, to borrow the words of the President of the Republic. Now let me end my report with my usual Irish prayer. May the road always rise to meet us as an institute. May the wind be always at our back. May the sun shine warm on our face and the rain fall soft on our fields. And until we meet again, may the good Lord bear us in the palm of his hand. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Especially for those on virtual, you would acknowledge that that was a long one. He's even had to cut it out. But it was necessary because of the transitional AGM, as I mentioned before, for us to have a smooth transition from IHRMP into the CIHRM that we are now. It was important for all the breakdown that both speakers earlier on had given to us. We crave your indulgence. Don't leave us, especially the virtual people. Don't leave us. I'm saying I was there some. Please make sure you are putting something down. We are going to go straight away into the business session. But as the president said, all of us have to come on board. And coming on board, I associate it with, for clarification, we all did some biology, general science, something. There's the caterpillar, from egg to caterpillar stage. I think today is like the caterpillar stage. All of us on board would either make this institute or make this chartered institute one that becomes a wonderful, beautiful butterfly, or we just renege and leave some commerce, live in some corners, and don't take part in what has to be done, leaving it just for a few people to do, and what we will get will be very much what looks like a moth. So I would plead with all of us, as the president has left us with, come on board. Come on board for the Chartered Institute. And Mr. Beto has said it, and as we proceed, I'm sure you would appreciate the fact that this has become necessary. We are all involved in this. We will move to the business session immediately. Because it's virtual, we don't want to take time off. We are going to go straight away into the business session. And I like to remind ourselves that voting is still going on. And it ends at 10:30. It's about 10 o'clock now. If you haven't voted, please get onto the system and make sure you are voting. Because at 10:30, the system will be closed far before the Electoral Commission official takes over to announce what has happened. At this stage, business session, I'd ask my co-MC to invite.
Thank you, Seth. At this time, the National Executive members are going to take over the business session, and we're going to have the confirmation and adoption of minutes of the previous annual general meeting held in 2019. So, thank you.
And whilst we have that, please, we'd like to note that if you have a question, just go to the Q&A session. If you are virtual, go to the Q&A session, bounce off whatever you want to say in the chat session, or at the appropriate time, after the two items have been discussed, confirmation, adoption of minutes of previous AGM, and then presentation of auditor's report, we will open the lines for question time. It will be good that you note what you want to say, or you will just be typing in the chat session and in the Q&A button column. So that is where we are. Mr. President, please take over.
Mr. MC, the minutes of the AGM held in 2019 have already been circulated, and we want to take it as read, unless, of course, we received two comments we received comments from 2 persons, and so you may want to discuss that. And so then I leave that to the executive director to continue from there.
Yes, just as you said, we circulated the 2019 minutes to members, and we did ask them to submit any comments, any corrections, any omissions. And indeed, we did receive 2 comments from 2 members, namely from Rosemary Akwete and then Dr. Stephen Deho. This was in connection to the fact that their names were omitted from the list of attendees. So we've taken note of that. With that understanding, it is then concluded that we are ready to move on. So we want somebody to move for adoption of that 2019 minutes, either in person or virtual. So if somebody here or virtual wants to move for the adoption, then we will do so and move on. If it's virtual, would we know? We wouldn't know from here. So you will have to tell us. If it's here too, we can then mention the person's name. Okay, we have in person Mr. George Antwatin, who was present at that meeting, and he's moved for the acceptance of the minutes. I think I have a Mrs. Nanaya Chum, who has seconded that. So on that note, we have adopted the minutes, and that we move on. So at this point, I think we move on to.
Any matters arising?
Okay, I'm being informed that some other people online have also moved for the adoption. I think Raymond Labitu has also moved to. So we have more than enough. So we will have to take note of in-person and online. So let's take note of those who did it online. So with that, I think we can move on to the next item on the agenda. Do I then, at this point in time, call in the auditors, or?
Don't you allow opportunity for matters arising, if there are any matters arising from the minutes that you want to bring up?
Okay.
I guess it's been quite a while, so matters might have resolved themselves in the course of the year. So perhaps we can move on.
Okay. As you think through that, we can still call in the auditors, let them do it, and when we come to the question, the Q&A session, then you can bring it out. So, yes.
All right, so at this juncture, we would invite Mr. Celestine Habada, a partner of DECAP Associates, to come and present the auditor's reports of 2019 and 2020. If he's here, shall we welcome him with a round of applause?
Chairman, members of the Governing Council, distinguished members of the Institute, I am pleased to present to you our report on the audit of the financial statements of the Institute of Human Resource Management Practitioners, IHRMP, for the year ended 31st December 2019, and B, the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Ghana, for the year ended 31st December 2020. I wish to state that since our audit opinion has not been modified for each of the 2 years under consideration, the report I am about to present will apply for all the 2 years to avoid monotonous repetitions. Our opinion: we have audited the financial statements of the Institute, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2019 and 31st December 2020, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows for the years then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, and to the best of our information and according to explanations given to us, the accompanying financial statements give the information required by the Ghana Companies Act 2019, Act 992, in the manner so required, and presents fairly in all material respect the financial position of the Institute as at 31st December 2019 and 31st December 2020, and its financial performance and cash flows for the years then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards for SMEs. The basis of our opinion on the 2 financial statements: we conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the Institute in accordance with the International Code of Ethics of Professional Accountants, including international independent standards issued by the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants, and we have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. We believe that the evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Information other than the financial statements and the auditor's report thereon. The Institute's Governing Council is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises information included in the Governing Council's report, but does not include the financial statements and our auditor's report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statement does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusions thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information and, in doing so, consider whether the information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If, based on the work we have performed, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this other information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Responsibilities of management and those charged with governance for the financial statements. This has been circulated as part of the auditor's report in the financial statement, so I won't bore you with that. We also have responsibilities of the auditors for the audit of the financial statements, which has also been circulated with the financial statement, so I will also not bore you with that. We have to report on other legal and regulatory requirements That I will read. In compliance with the requirements of Section 137 and the 7th Schedule of the Ghana Companies Act 2019, Act 992, we have sought and obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, are necessary for the purposes of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts as required by law have been kept by the Institute so far as it appears from our examination of those books. The statement of financial position, the statement of profit or loss, and the other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and the statement of cash flows dealt with by this report are in agreement with the books of accounts for each of the years. The engagement partner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is Celestine Seth Habada. Our report was signed for 2019 on 29 June 2020, and for 2020 on 4th June 2021. Thank you for your attention. If there are any questions, we'll pick them. And then
the floor is open for any comments that you may have or questions you may want to ask. On the audited accounts, I mean. Yeah. Either in person or virtual.
okay. So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just to make a point, and my name is yourself. I'm listening carefully to what the auditor mentioned. It gives us some assurance that they did a very good work, ensuring that the standards.
Mr. Auditor, you may want to sit and perhaps respond to questions that you have to respond to.
Yeah.
Right. We appreciate your effort and we respect your age.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I was just trying to make a point that I was listening to the auditor carefully. You know, we are human resource. Then we try to focus a bit on the finances. But we had assurance from him that he has taken care of our books, ensuring that things are done rightfully here at the Secretariat. He has checked all the necessary things that we have to check. So that gives us a clean sheet to move into the next stage. So without critiquing everything that has been stated, I want to go by what the external auditor has stated, that our books, our standard in terms of financial management are correct here at the Institute. And if that's the case, we just encourage the Secretariat and the new leadership that will take over, that we should maintain these standards that we set for ourselves and ensure that our financial management become prudent and continuously improve and become beneficial to the Institute. That is what I wanted to say, to really commend the external auditors for the good work they've done. Thank you very much.
Much, Andy. Any more? Any more comments on the report? There is nothing from virtual though. So in that respect, do we continue? There is. No, that one was anonymous, and we don't want to comment on that. The person must be bold to indicate who he is and whether he's a member, a paid-up member, and all that. Otherwise, how do we respond to an anonymous comment? He may be intruding.
All over the place.
So, members, on that note, may a member move for the acceptance of the audited report? Isaac moves and Emmanuel seconds. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Auditors. Mr. Auditor, have a good day. Yes, sir. Mr. Auditor, I guess we now have an internal auditor. So as we move on, there should be some amount of collaboration so that compliance issues are detected in good time and corrective actions taken. So thank you. Right.
Mr. President, just to add to that, from henceforth, the Auditor General will be the external auditors for the institute, but they tend to actually outsource that role to other private institutions. So the idea is that we will see how best we can lobby to bring our brothers back on board, because they know the system, but that decision will still be left with our Auditor General. So just to show that we appreciate the long journey you have stayed on with us. You've done a very wonderful job for us, and we thank you so much. You've been professional. You've indicated where we need to improve, and over the years we have improved our systems. So on that note, once again, thank you very much.
We just received a comment from, it's been adopted. Well, once it's been adopted, I don't think we can go back to raise comments. But, all right. Procedurally, we are done. We cannot reopen a report that has been accepted and through a resolution. So that's about it. Whoever, he might be a member joining us online. Please, after this session, you may want to talk to us, and then we will pass on your concerns to the auditors. Thank you very much. The next one. We have with us a resolution here. It's been circulated. It's a transitional kind of arrangement, and I asked the executive director to handle that. And now the chief executive officer under the new act.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just as the President said, this was circulated to members. So we believe that at this moment in time, you have read and you clearly understand what it means. But having said that, I will read over for a hearing, and at the tail end, we'll ask people to vote through the Zoom application that our IT guy has managed to avail to us. Transitional provision of CIHRM Ghana Act 2020, Act 1020, Section 43, Subsection 4. For ease of administrative handling of this section, the National Governing Council is proposing to the AGM to ratify a resolution that all persons who, A, hold a qualification approved by the Council established under NRCD 143 and is practicing as a human resource management practitioner, or B, is a certified human resource management practitioner before the coming into force this act shall automatically be seen to have been registered under CIHRM Ghana Act 2020, Act 1020, to continue practicing as human resource management practitioners or chartered human resource management practitioner. However, where required, Council may request such registered practitioners to update their data information with the Institute within a time frame. So this is the resolution, the motion on the floor. And on the basis of this, I believe you are ready to vote. IT, are they ready to vote? Can they go in and vote? And you'll be able to tell us, okay. So systems are now open for you to vote. Those of you who are here with us, you can do so on your laptop, on your phone, if you have actually logged in. You can do so on your phone if you've logged in. Obviously, those who are challenged are keeping away from it. Possibly including myself. Oh, okay. Okay, you can still log in, exactly. Okay. Yeah, I was in there, but earlier on it was creating some problems. It's a simple process. I've just done mine.
Members, the resolution. We have 67 of our members saying yes and 4 saying no. It means therefore that the resolution has been carried. So the resolution has been carried. Thank you, dear all. So automatically you transit from your current status to the new, the same status under the Act. So we are cut and right. Okay. So the next item is the election results. Okay. Then the Q&A comes in. Yes. But then you also said that you wanted people to answer questions on the sorry. There was a provision. Oh no, but there was a question. Members subscription. What's the formal position by council? Yeah, the subscription, you know, we moved it from 300. Members and the matters arising, we have been told we ended too quickly, and that somebody said there was a major issue that came up last year on the membership subscription. How much are we paying? And I think the council was given the opportunity to review all the recommendations and suggestions that came on the floor that day. And eventually, when we met with that, close with that authority, we agreed that it should be 400, which we have informed all members, and everybody is already paying that 400. So it's a non-issue now as we sit here. We are already paying, and we've made this known to all members. Yeah, so they are paying, yes. So whoever asked that question, that is our response. Right. We allow a few moments for questions and answers, or we move on to the elections because of time. If we're going to have the elections, then those of us who are serving members of the council will have to vacate our positions immediately.
Don't worry. You don't have it. You don't have it. Yeah, okay. Together with the charter and all the things happening to the institute, what is your plans towards that Thanksgiving service or church service that we mentioned? That's what I wanted to find.
COVID is not completely gone, and the matter of social distancing and the embarrassment that is caused to organizers of some of such events, including funerals, and particularly the funeral of Sir John, we are careful not to go that route this year. Let us close the chapter on COVID-19, then you will see our way clear.
Just to add to that, there were issues in addition to what Andy spoke about, and they are all in the minutes under tracker. And with that session, we've provided all the answers pertaining to all the outstanding matters. And the planning for the Thanksgiving, a response has been given there as well. Just because of the time, that's why we decided that, look, we will leave that. But it's good that you raised it, and I guess the response from the President is also appropriate. Thank you very much.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, can somebody move for the closure of the business session for us to tackle the matter of elections? Isaac and Eric. I have a difficulty identifying Eric because I often tend to believe that the Duka is his first name. Then apologies. So like I said earlier, at this stage, we're going to have the elections. It means that we have to vacate our positions as members of the council until after the election. So we'll hand over to the electoral commissioner's representative here. Are they here already?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Electoral Commission has mandated
I think
Linda Abam, the municipal election officer for Korle Klote, to handle the elections for us. She's here with Prince. She is here with Prince. Yes, madam, please.
that's right.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. It is our privilege to be here to declare the results for the Cihrm. Thank you. According to the result that came in, that is, or what we know is that we started voting from the 16th of June at 6 p.m. and it ended today at 10:30 a.m. So as at 10:30 a.m., 423 members had voted for the presidency, who is Dr. Edward Kwapo. All the 423 that voted in favor of him. Then with the vice, the same number voted, 423, and they voted for him. So we come to the executive members, and we learned only 2 picked nomination, and it's 2 that you needed. The same 423 voted for both Mr. Kwame Akpezi and Mr. Isaac Saki. So now, the real election is the executive members female. Yes. So we have Florence Hatchful, Dorothy Asari, Georgina Yebua, Amma Kwantuma Ansa, and Adelaide A.K. Pokudakun. So based on the results, Madam Florence, or Mrs. Florence Hatchful, got 344, which represents 41%. Madam Dorothy Asari got 155, representing 18%. Madam Georgina Yebua got 139, representing 16%. Madam Amma Kwantima Ansa got 107, representing 13%. And Madam Adelaide A.K. Pokudakun got 101, representing 12%. So based on these results, Madam Florence Hatchful and Madam Dorothy Asari are elected as the executive members female. So we will be glad to call them forward. Those who contested, we are here for us to at least congratulate them and give them a hand of applause. Thank you. So please, if you are here.
Thank you very much, Electoral Commissioner, Madam Linda Aban. So, as it were, Dr. Kwapon for President, Vice President Leo Kwakupom, Member Isaac Saki. It's not like I didn't vote for you. I voted for you. But I forgot your surname, Isaac. Doctor is around Dr. Apeji. Okay, and then we have Dorothy, and then we have Mrs. Hatchful. So they are not in. May I kindly invite council members who were councillors like me. So Nanaya, Mr. Duka, Madam Ashanti Gina, Madam Yabua, all council members, please come, and we'll give them now. No handshaking, no handshaking. So when you get there, clasp your hands together and do give homage. And you candidates there, President. Where is Leo? Where is Leo? It will be interesting to have Mr. Agbeto and the past president also there, because you formed the new council. Be careful, eh? Seth, be careful. Now, ladies and gentlemen on virtual, we are seeing the members of council under the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, and all members of the previous council who did not stand for election should please come out and pay homage. After that, we would ask all any other senior personnel here, Mr. Georgianto, in fact, all of us here, after the councillors have done that, we do it. Secretariat, these are going to be your bosses too. So you will come finally to give them their due. Virtual, please don't leave us. We are about ending. Quickly, let's go. Let's go and say. Sorry, don't take too many pictures. There's one, the vice president is coming. I wonder, a lady has. So ladies and gentlemen on virtual, all the officers are congratulating the new officers. And I'd like to mention and state that as per the law, the real swearing in and takeover of the institute, the Chartered Institute, will take place in the offices of the Ministry of Education. That will be announced because now we are chartered and we are under the Ministry of Education and we are by law submitted to do certain things, including they being sworn in after the president has approved them. So that is where we are. Thank you very much, gentlemen and lady. You may please take your seats. No, okay, please, I think so. Just a quick one. The president will give just a quick acceptance speech. A quick acceptance speech.
On behalf of elected members of the Institute, I want to thank all of you for the trust and confidence reposed in us. We promise to continue to sacrifice our time and effort to ensure that our institute grows stronger and stronger. For me in particular, I told a few of you that I wanted to step down. I wouldn't put myself forward for re-election. But then one person called and said, why are you behaving like Moses? He led the Jews through the wilderness for 40 years. And just as they were entering the promised land, he decided that no, let Joshua take over at that stage. So I was wondering whether I should take over. But then he said, you are a lawyer by profession. And at the stage that you are transitioning into the proper charter status, why don't you stay on? Help with the drafting of the legislative instrument, help with the establishment of structures. So I know that the responsibilities ahead are quite enormous, but with the rest of us, the council members and the goodwill from our general members, we will be able to deliver. And I pray that the good Lord will strengthen us with wisdom and with energy to do what is needful. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your cooperation. From the virtual, we have Paul Taylor saying, congratulations to all the newly elected. Congratulations to all the newly elected. Shall we give Paul Taylor a round of applause? From afar, he has recognized us. And all of you, we had, as at this stage, we have over 125 persons virtually on with us. And that is very impressive. And we, looking from the voting, we've had into the 400s, which means that we are a fortitude to work with. And the council is encouraged under the charter to move the institute forward. God bless you. On this note, without mincing words and with a privilege, we have come to almost the end of it. May I call a councillor of the previous council, in fact, continuing council, who has been very, very instrumental. And I'll call on Mrs. Nanaya Chum to give us the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Our newly elected council, old councillors, very recent old and older councillors, chapter heads, our virtual audience, and all here present. I'd like to say a big thank you for your attendance this morning. Honestly, we were all, with mixed feelings, not sure how this hybrid session would go, but thanks be to God, He has brought us thus far. We had a few technical challenges, but I think that overall we can say it has been successful. We have held our first virtual election, over a period of 3 days. The Electoral Commission, thank you so much for your presence and your attendance and for steering these affairs well. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the part that you've played. And we say that as we disperse, as we sign out our computers, we pray that the good Lord shall continue to sustain us and will help us so that we can carry this charter forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for thanking all of us. Mrs. Nanaya Chung. There are still congratulatory messages coming, but because of virtual timing, we will leave most of them. Heather, thank you very much. Senor, thank you very much. So the Tema people too have acknowledging them, which is very interesting. And they are telling Leo, thank you for the re-election. And we are all together. The president said we must all be on board. I was here some. I was here. Virtual people are not responding. Virtual, I was here. I advise that you write it on a piece of paper or on a bold piece of paper, stick it somewhere. When we meet at our chapters, we may ask, where is your I was here son? God bless all of us. And we go ahead.
All right, so like Seth said, all too soon, we're coming to the end of the program. So I'd like to invite our advisory and research manager, Mr. Ian Sapak, to give us the closing prayer. With a round of applause, let's welcome Ian. So we are appreciating Bright, our IT officer, for the hard work that he's done. I understand that he went home at 3 a.m. this morning and came back around 7 o'clock. So thank you very much, Bright. Let's appreciate him the more. Okay. So that's where we are. So this is Bright. So thank you very much, Bright. You've done a very, very good job.
Let him wave to the virtual
You've done it.
audience.
All right. Okay, so the closing prayer now.
Please, shall we respectfully be on our feet? And for those on virtual, kindly join us as we pray. Asidanka onyame mia oniyem oninyema eya oye anyema sirani nyefri era o as dan foria ese on fem no on fem razi anyema eye sirani nyefri era asi foria ese onfe. Abba, Father, we thank you. We come through the precious blood, the blood that speaketh great mysteries. And we come before you with thanksgiving, with praise. And we acknowledge you. See what you have done. During an age of disruption, where everything by our limited human mind would have been distraction, look at the time you selected and decided to give us Act 1020 and to grant this institute a chartered status. The time of impossibilities is where you decided to make it possible. Father, we acknowledge this. And for this hybrid maiden AGM, but for you, it looked impossible, but look at how far you brought us. We thank you for everybody who played a role, even those who taught, those who sat at home, even in all the imperfects. For you, you used the bad to even turn to good. We thank you for such a successful maiden AGM. God, we acknowledge the contribution of all outgoing members. And we also pray for all those who have been elected into the new membership. We pray that like you granted to David of old, you will grant them leadership qualities. You will grant them courage so that they will be able to lead this institute to the level that all of us are anticipating. We bless you and we give you glory for a successful meeting. May only your name be glorified forever. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Yen. We've come to the end of the session, but whilst we are recessing, I'd like to be mentioning that we had messages from Agnes Adai. So we've closed, but slowly we are just mentioning, so the virtual people too, we are taking up. Agnes Adai and Ama says congratulations to team from Veronica Ampofua. Nano, we appreciate all of you who are sending messages. Sapon, Rita Sapon, Asante. You may sit, please. You may sit if you are enjoying this. Belinda Edupoku says congratulations to all. Well done to all newly elected. And that came from Cornelius. Now you can go, you can be going, you can be coming. Congratulations to all elected members. Ladies and I'm doing this for those on virtual. Congratulations to all the newly elected executives. Ayeko, kudos to our new elected. We pray them enough grace to sail through. From Abna Prempe, Heather Edu has also said congratulations. Mildred Sikatete. Okay, it's not Tete, it's with a Y. Tete. I know that. Auntie Sika, you are there. You are informed. Congrats to the newly elected officials. Congratulations to all the elected officials from Haruna, Isai Haruna, from Edwina Safe Bafo. She says congratulations to all the newly elected council members. You have a few more you could read.
Okay, somebody is also congratulating Bright. Yeah, so from Rosa Foso Faye, congrats to all the elected members. Louise Condobry Asamoah, congratulations to Dr. Kopon and the team. We wish you well. From Etonam Blege, congratulations to all elected members. And then Veronica Ampofua, thank you, Bright. From Rita Dako, thank you, Bright. Bright is your day today. And Grace Darling Amenyogbeli, thank you to the leadership and organizers, especially the secretariat. Then from Doreen, congratulations to all. Georgina Yabua, thumbs up bright. Divine Adam Kojo Amegashi, congratulations to all the elected members, the secretariat and the IT officer. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, that was from Adam Kojo Amegashi. He says congratulations to all elected council members, the secretariat and the IT officer and his team. Please, I'm also here. Something you will do for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I was here some. Please, thank you. We were here some. So congratulations. Yeah. It's been an excellent meeting, and that's from Nicholas Amponsan. Rita Sampon, you could be going. Just be going. This is for virtual. Okay. Ivy Odai, we say congratulations to the team. I wish them
so
all
please
the best.
reserve your seats and wait here. You've closed it.
Congratulations, all elected executives. Thank you very much. Now that the screen is off, may I say a big thank you to our IT team, the media team. Thank you very, very much. Media team, thank you.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana